Hey everybody, welcome back to Farming Simulator 25, Riverbend Springs Scratch Start episode 14, or 13.5, 14. We got some stuff to do in October. I think we're going to call this episode 13.5. We got some stuff to do in October before we can actually move on to November, and I have installed the contract boost mod, which, among other possible things, enables swathing. So if we go look at our settings here, I've left, oh, I should fix the reward factor to B. There we go. Right. So left everything to be pretty much normal on contracts, including the pay, which I just fixed now, but also all the things that contract boost can do. I've left them all normal. If you guys want to look through it and say, oh yeah, you should allow collecting blah 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 hay or bales or whatever, then cool. But the thing I turned on was allow swathing crops. I couldn't swath the crops because that's not considered harvesting, even though it is. So I've turned that on, and that enables me to do the thing I want to do. We're going to save this game real quick to get that contract price fix in. We're going to take field 14 and accept that contract because we can now swath contracts. And we are going to check that out. And while our separator is separating before we can turn the contract in, we will deal with our sawmill situation, which is the other pre-November thing we need to get done. In the main 13, or the main episode 13, we did the rolling, and that's all pretty cool. But in 13.5 here, we have to get this field 14 harvested, which in this case means I'm not sure I like the in our case means we're going to swath it and we're going to run it through our separator, and then we're going to give them their stuff. But well, I'm not sure I like the drawbar extender on this forage wagon. It would help if it were picking it up, though. Why aren't you picking it up? Because you're not actually... Okay, this worked a minute ago. I just did this and it worked. Do I need to allow picking up? Is that what else did I change? Because I didn't change anything aside from the price. Do I have to allow collecting straw? Maybe I have to allow collecting straw. Yeah, apparently I have to allow collecting straw. Okay. Well, that will get saved on its own. That seems to be working. Okay. A little confusing. I thought I had allow collecting straw off during my test run on this. But apparently it was on, or it just worked anyway. Mods are a little bit weird in that way. But here we go. Alright, well, we dumped our first load, but we gotta make the swath separator actually operate on the swath that I've been dropping into it, or that I have just dropped into it. And now we can get back and get the rest of that field harvested. Knock down a couple of signs. What are they putting those signs there for anyway? Alright, we're gonna get back to it. Okay, so now we need to grab our trailer. We got a couple of small things to do with it. Well, one small thing is I want to get the canola out of this thing and into our main silo. We don't need to keep it there. Well, now we can have a look. We're going to need that trailer to get the final soybean content as soon as it's ready. We have 9 hours to get soybeans into where they're supposed to go, so that's cool. We'll just set this guy up here to be ready for that. I'm just going to drop the whole bit because we want to go get a tree into our sawmill over there. Just a nice big old tree. And we've just got to wait basically now for everything. Being that this is episode 13.5, I am not going to do a whole episode. We're just going to do the little cleanup-y things that we needed to get done, aside from our experiment there with the swathing, which to me seems to have worked wonderfully. I don't think I will be using, I don't think I'll be using the other features of that, like collecting straw and whatnot, that, except for the straw I get from the swathing, which is actually substantial, but anyway, it's not terrible. Now this thing is 10 tons, which is more than we can take. I think I might be able to. Alright, this guy is 3 tons. That's decent. We can grab that piece and drag it over. Yeah, we just need to get at least a little bit of wood into this thing. But the main bit is to finish off this contract. That's like the key thing. That's our main alignment for this. And we've got 7,000 liters of wood in there. That's good until November. I just wanted to make sure we were definitely on top of that. And you know what? This thing doesn't need to sit under the shed. This is much better off being kind of grouped with whom it belongs to. It belongs to the wood operation. So now we're just waiting on our other thing, finding stuff to do. So I guess I'll do this, and I'm just gonna load this on there, and then I'll just push time forward until we're there. Let's put this on the trailer. Not really a great spot for the trailer, but it'll work. We're not going to be able to buy number 8 before it's either harvested or withered. So, oh well to that. But right, I'll be back when we've got our soybeans to turn in. Well, it took about an hour and a half to get through that stuff. I pushed it forward. I pushed the time forward, and I think I started at about 1400, and it's now 1535. So we should be able to grab all them soybeans. We got 5,440 soybeans. I don't know what they were expecting, but let's find out where the turn-in is. Turn-in is at that Green River silo up there. Man, and that trailer is loud. Alright, so let's see what our bonus is like. I mean, we get a straw bonus too. We had about 80,000 straw in there. And now we've got 119. So we got like, I don't know if that makes sense. We got like 40,000 straw. Let's go back and look how much straw we actually have there. We must have had more because we had 29,000-ish in in the separator from that soybean field. And if we got 5,000-ish soybeans, then we should have added 24 or something. But we're so close, I'm just going to drive there rather than cutting it or time-lapsing it or whatever. The river's looking nice today. This stream is pretty awesome. And yeah, so our next big goals really are to own all of the equipment we need. Planter, or, well, not a planter yet, but although we do need a planter if we want to grow soybeans, which are a swathable material, which makes good sense. Soybeans are worth money. So let's look at pricing right now and see whether we want to keep our soybeans for later. Yeah, we're gonna be keeping everything we can because it's almost double or more. Yeah, it's double what we priced in June. And so let's only dump. All right, 1,400 soybeans left. That's worth saving to me, given that that's going to be over 2K instead of 1K. You get 1K for it now or 2K for it in June. And maybe we'll do another soybean contract here and swathe that too, although we could really use a bigger forage harvester. I really do want the realistic Colossus, or as realistic as the Colossus gets anyway, but that Colossus would really help out. It'd be nice if we could get a forage wagon, not forage harvester, forage wagon that had a pipe, you know, like a combination forage wagon, auger wagon, so that we could continue to collect and be able to, you know, run a helper and go dump and use a big trailer. But anyway, this is our soybean now, and that is pretty good. That tells me, yeah, because for 4K or 5K soybeans, the bonus should have been like 500 or something, and we get 1,400. And the bonus without the swapping would have been not worth keeping around. We dump this in here, and then let's see if I can get straw. Well, it looks like they're both connected, so although I can't seem to get straw out of there. Can I get straw out of here? Or is it just not getting straw? There we go. Yeah, I can get straw out of here. And as we know, straw is, well, straw's not far off being worth what it's worth, 84 in December. So this thing is a really good view. Our next max month is, well, according to this, it's January. for the sorghum, but I haven't decided if I want to keep the sorghum or not, because I may want to keep the sorghum. The canola we can either sell, or we can install one of those little old mills, the old mill, which is a factory. I think they're fairly cheap. I thought they were a lot cheaper than that, so get them up here. Yeah, 20 grand. We may want to just process that canola into canola oil. We get canola oil and flour out of this thing. It's not going to be fast. Now, do we want the American or the old Polish? This is an American map. Right. So we could start grinding start pressing some canola here. We have the money. That would help. We need a place to put it though. Place that makes sense. I wonder if this is another shared state one or not. And the worst case here would be that we'd have to I think I would like it to be along this run here. So we could put it right here, right across the street from that. Or we could put it right here. And then we can cut those trees down to get at, those are tiny trees anyway. We could cut those trees down to get at the process, the proceeds. That doesn't seem like a terrible spot to me. So let's pick up this grain mill. Let's move the canola into it. First, let's go see if it's a whole shared thing like the other one. Now we're real broke, but we'll be making a lot more money on the canola later. And on the barley. And sorghum if we want to. Okay, we've got sorghum and canola. We don't even need to move it. So that's cool. And we actually, yeah, well, we're going to just delete this tree. I think we can probably come through here. We'll probably want to delete this tree as well. I don't like those trees anyway. Yeah, there we go. That one's kind of making it unrealistic. Let's kill off this tree. Yeah, that's looking not bad. And if we go to construction, and we do some painting, I think we're looking at gravel here. Yep. Not bad. Not terrible. Right, let's open this. I don't even need to open this thing up. All of our inputs are shared. And then our outputs are going to be canola oil and sorghum flour if we want them to. Although I don't see a configuration. Oh, it's in here. I got to go inside. Right. So canola. So we can make canola oil. Storing. And we can either make sorghum flour or we can buy some chickens. Given that I don't like the tiny chicken houses because there's just not enough chickens to make it worth the effort of working with it, I think we're going to just process our sorghum into sorghum flour. And so then we can go look at when canola oil is best in December. We probably won't have much by then, but maybe we'll have a pallet. And then flour is best in January, and again, we probably won't have much, but we'll have at least a pallet. So that's that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, or the partial episode, and I will catch you next time.